Welcome back to the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. This is the Masters competition. We're here at the StubHub Center, the age division on the men's side of the house, 40 to 44 years old, and we are going to see some fast times today. We've already seen fast times. In the last division, Cliff Lewis finished Nancy in 11 minutes and 11 seconds. We're going to see faster times today. If I was a betting man, I'd put money on that. And there are some athletes that you want to keep an eye on. This is your starting lineup. Miles, who are some athletes that could potentially do well in this workout?
Well, right out of the gate, we've got to recognize John Lynch. He's the winner of the Open, so he has earned a spot to be here. Let's keep an eye on him. Second, involving this workout's a 400-meter run, and 4 guys have a sub-60-second 400-meter run. Mike Mosley, Jason Fine, Brent Mayer, and Dan Lowenberg. Sub-60-second 400-meter run. That's incredible. Also, Erwin Vanderbeek from Amsterdam. He holds a 462-pound back squat with an 8-minute, 17-second 5K row. So we've got some incredible athletes to look out for today.
This is the 40 to 44 year age division. This is the first year that this age division has been added to the CrossFit Games Masters competition. And you can bet these guys have something to prove. They are off. This workout will consist of 5 rounds, a 400-meter run, 15 overhead squats at 95 pounds. And these athletes are getting several muscle groups taxed in one workout. Miles, what's the body going through during this 10, 15 minutes?
Well, right out of the gate, we see a lot of running, so that's going to be a problem for some of these athletes. We see the overhead squat. It's a test of fitness like no other. We're testing flexibility, muscle endurance. The overhead squat, 95 pounds, shouldn't be a problem for these gentlemen, but if they're flexible or if they're not flexible, we're going to see some issues here. These guys all strategize pretty similar. Looks like they're going to come out at the same pace, which is smart. They've got 5 rounds ahead of them, so starting off fast may not be the best idea, but we'll see what happens.
They do have to pace themselves. I know that as myself as an athlete, I'm looking at split times, looking at different rounds. I want to maintain consistency. That's one thing we've seen so far in most of the athletes that have won their division. They've maintained that consistency through all 5 rounds.
And that's key.
So we've got several athletes approaching the bar at the same time. This is going to be a fast heat, and this is going to be close times between different athletes.
What we're looking for in these athletes is grab the bar, get it overhead as fast as possible, and start squatting. All these individual athletes have a judge right next to them, have a better view than we do. So they're going to be qualifying that rep. They're looking to get the hip crease down below the knee and a full hip extension at the top, all the while holding that weight over their head.
So according to the chip timer, it was Jason Fine who completed that 400-meter run first. He did that in 1 minute and 1 second. And now we've already got athletes starting their second round. And that is John Lynch right there.
Winner of last year's games, or of the Open this year, excuse me, winner of the Open, John Lynch. So he's got something to prove. Let's watch him.
John Lynch, your current leader from Shoreline CrossFit. That's where he trains day in and day out. And
watching these guys around the halfway point on the track there, not messing around, not a lot of breaking speed, really stretching it out.
And Chris Exarchos is our current leader right now. That is him in the black headband, no shirt, black shorts, Chris Exarchos.
Oftentimes these athletes are looking behind them to glance where the competition is. Right now they're competing against the people they see on the field, so there's no other heats involved in this placement. So knowing where you're at in the field is crucial. It helps where they can put that hammer down and go as fast as they can, and where they have to haul back a little bit.
Chris Exarchos, no transition time, starts right in, didn't take a break, starts right in on those overhead squats. He's already got 5 in the bank. He only has 10 left. More and more athletes making a race out of this. They've still got plenty of time in this workout. There's a 20-minute time cap, but we're going to see athletes come in close to half of that time. Chris Exarchos now has 15 reps done. It only took him 24 seconds to complete 15 overhead squats. He actually did that 1 second faster than his first round. So Chris Exarchos jumped out to a quick lead after that first round. He is maintaining that throughout the second round and starting in on his third round of Nancy.
Yeah, right now going through these heads of these athletes, they know they're at the CrossFit Games right now. They know they have to perform well. They also know that there's a few workouts ahead of them next couple days. So part of them wants to hold back a little bit, save some, but the other half wants to give it 110%, and that's what we're seeing on a lot of these athletes right now. Everything they have.
Chris Exarchos, your current leader, we're just past the 4-minute mark in this workout. He's already completed 2 rounds, working on his third round of a 400-meter run and 15 overhead squats at 95 pounds. And explain that overhead squat, because there's a lot going on in one movement. It looks fairly simple. On paper, it sounds simple.
Yeah, it seems like an easy task. What we're seeing a lot is that to establish the overhead squat, to do it well, you have to have flexibility. You have to be able to maintain that bar over your head, efficiency. Shoulders need to be locked out in a correct position. Upright torso, wide position on the knees, heels down on the ground. It's not an easy move. It's a really difficult move. It's a great tool for these athletes so we can identify some of these fit athletes.
Chris Exarchos finishes his third 400-meter run in first place, followed by Rob Labar in the pink shirt, just ran past Chris. And Rob Labar in second place right now with the 4:09 on his pink shirt. So right now, Chris Exarchos has 10 reps done. He's got 5 left, and he's blazing through these overhead squats.
And one thing to note about Chris Exarchos, he wasn't fully qualified to be here. He was actually 23rd in the open, but because 3 people declined the invite, he was pulled up from the bottom. So he didn't know that he was going to be here not too long ago, and he's stayed true to his fitness, and he is on a mission to prove that he deserves to be here.
So first place, Chris Exarchos with the no shirt, black shorts on the left, Rob Labar on the right in the pink shirt. Both of them starting in on their 4th run, but Chris Exarchos has a head start over Rob Labar. The sun's out, the guns are out. Chris Exarchos running, no shirt on. And just getting the work done. It looks like Rob Labar is being passed right now. There is a battle going on for second place. Those athletes are trying to chase down your current leader, Chris Exarchos, and that is Bryan Watkins, who just passed Rob Labar and moved into second place. If he can maintain that pace, he might have a chance to take down Chris Exarchos. Just approaching the 7-minute mark. There's a 20-minute time cap. The fastest time so far today, I know it was in a different division, but it was so fast, I've got to brag about it. It was Cliff Lewis in the 45 to 49 age division, 11 minutes and 11 seconds. That's a fast time no matter what age you are. And look at Bryan Watkins coming on strong in this 4th lap of the 400-meter run. Not only did he pass Rob Labar, he's now passing Chris Exarchos and moving into first place. That's Bryan Watkins will reach his bar virtually the same time as Chris Exarchos. Now it's just going to be down to whoever can get it out and push through 15 overhead squats faster. So Chris Exarchos has 4 reps in the bank, 5 reps now. He's 1 rep ahead of Bryan Watkins. Bryan Watkins going through his 7th rep. 1 rep behind Chris Exarchos. If he can push it now, I think he's looking stronger on that run than Chris Exarchos is.
Well, that's what he's hoping for at this point. He knows what he has to do. He can run fast. He's got to squat fast as well.
So Bryan Watkins made quick work of 15 overhead squats, did it in 44 seconds, and now starting in on his 5th and final round of Nancy. So 1 more lap around the track. Right now he is ahead of Chris Exarchos. So Bryan Watkins, your current leader, Rob Labar in second place. Chris Exaros in third place.
Last 400-meter pace of Watkins, he actually went faster than he did on his third round, so he's making up some ground here. That's his goal. Leaving a little bit in the tank to let it rip at the end. It's a good strategy, smart athlete.
Look at this time. We're not even 9 minutes into this workout. They're halfway done with that 400 meters on their last round. Cruising through this workout. This is Bryan Watkins, your current leader in the 40 to 44 age division of event number 1 here at the Reebok, the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. Now we've got more athletes making a push here at the end. Bryan Watkins just about to give up his lead, and it looks like he is going to be overtaken. And that is Michael Mosley coming on strong here at the end, making a push. And we're going to see if Bryan can answer back. Not yet. Michael Mosley moved into the lead, kind of paced himself through the first 4 rounds and is pouring it on here at the end.
It's going to come down to these overhead squats. That's it. If these athletes can get that transition, grab the bar, get it overhead, 15 squats, they can't afford a no rep at this point.
Keep your eye on that man. Michael Mosley just passed Bryan Watkins. He didn't start this round even. I think he was in 4th place starting this last round.
Right into the snatch.
He passed 3 other athletes, jumped right into that overhead squat. Right now, Watkins has 5 reps in, and Mosley is battling, trying to answer and stay ahead of Watkins. Mosley on the left, Watkins on the right. Watkins has less than 5 reps left. Michael Mosley pushing it hard, and they're both virtually rep for rep, 13, 14 reps each. Who's going to break first? Michael Mosley. He's got a little bit of a limp, and Michael Mosley looks like he will finish ahead of Watkins, but only barely. Rob Labar was right in there. Camera wasn't on him, but it looks like Michael Mosley beat Rob Labar by 0.3 of a second, and both of them were ahead of that man, Bryan Watkins, but only by seconds. So these athletes pushed it hard right at the end, and man, they never gave up. Michael Mosley passed 3 other athletes on that last 400-meter run to pull ahead and win this event by 0.3 of a second.
Unbelievable. This is what we're going to see all week. Stuff like this. This is incredible. Awesome. Done by seconds. Difference first, second, third only by 5 seconds. Incredible.
And we were talking about how fast 11 minutes and 11 seconds was, but look at Michael Mosley coming in. 10 minutes, 28.1 seconds. Rob Labar, 10 minutes, 28.4 seconds. So 0.3 of a second separating the 2 gentlemen. Man, that was a close race right down to the finish. We talked about how the 40 to 44-year-olds would not disappoint, and they came through and proved us right. That was a fun event to watch. I know the crowd was getting into it. Now the competitors going over, cheering on other competitors. We still have athletes on the field. We're at the 12-minute mark. There's a 20-minute time cap.
These athletes push the limits. We're seeing 110% of these guys push the limits. They get done with this workout. They collapse on the ground. That's the best place for them to be at that point. When they're done, they pull it together. They get some recovery in, and they get geared up for the next workout, which isn't too far ahead of them, a couple hours away.
More and more athletes finishing now. Crossing that finish line, unofficial time, 12 minutes, 34 seconds. And what an exciting event. That's Jeremy Harriger from Monster CrossFit. He will cross the finish line, unofficial time, 12 minutes, 47 seconds. So as the ages got younger, the times got faster. Fastest time in all 5 divisions for the men's competition, 10 minutes, 28.1 second by Michael Mosley.
World-class time right there that we're witnessing.
I mean, we've seen individual competitors at the games that don't have an answer time that fast.
Incredible.
13 minutes and 33 seconds into this workout. We still have athletes that are on their last round. Many have completed their final lap of the 400-meter run, and now it's just down to 15 overhead squats.
At this point, you've got all the athletes that have completed that workout helping this athlete get through the last and final reps. The crowd is standing behind him. This is a great part about CrossFit right here, folks. This is where it helps.
Bryan Beck is closing out his Nancy workout. This is event number 1, Masters competition, 40 to 44 year age division. And that is Bryan Beck. He's got family. He's got other athletes he trains with in the gym. He's got coaches over there coaching him and training and trying to get him to push it hard for these last few sets, last few reps. This is Dan Lowenberg. And Bryan Beck finishes his Nancy workout. Dan Lowenberg from CrossFit Milford. Another athlete that employs that wide stance on his overhead squats and a wide grip. And fatigue starting to set in, shoulder starting to give out. Not able to maintain that weight overhead. He's got several other athletes and the crowd behind him, cheering him on, pushing him hard. Just past the 15-minute mark, so he's got plenty of time left. But now it's just down to pride, picking up that bar and continuing on when things start to hurt. He gets one more good rep, that judge making sure that he meets the criteria, meets the standard of movement. He's having a hard time keeping that weight overhead. If you're a coach right now, Miles, what would you be coaching him? What cues would you be giving?
One of the things that we're watching here, he's taking a little bit of a break between efforts here, and that's important. He's trying to build up that steam. He knows that he gets down there, he wants to make sure he gets a good rep. The no rep call is something that an athlete down there doesn't want to hear. So he's going to wait, he's going to back up a little bit, he's going to shake his arms out, he's going to make sure that he goes into this next set and completes these reps. Oftentimes you'll hear the athlete off to the right there just counting for him. Get in there, grab that bar and go. Take a 10-second break, that's it.
Dan Lowenberg only has 3 reps left. No rep. Fatigue setting in. Now he's got to be looking at that clock. It was 16 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm sure he wasn't fearful a moment ago, but as he's having a harder and harder time keeping that weight overhead, got to be a concern that he finishes this under the time cap of 20 minutes.
And this particular movement, the overhead squat, was a fear by many out there. It tests a lot of things, and if your shoulders are fatigued at this point, he only has 3 lifts to go, and it was 95 pounds. This weight feels like 195 pounds.
One more rep left, and just can't quite keep it overhead. The shoulders are giving out now, but he's got 5 more workouts to complete over the course of the next 2 days. And I know for a fact the next 2 or 3 workouts are going to tax those shoulders even more. So he better do some recovery, get some ice, see some therapists back there, and get some work done on those shoulders. And finishes his 15 reps. Dan Lowenberg crosses the finish line. Unofficial time, 17 minutes, 32 seconds. Great job on just gutting it out and getting it done.
He put it in 110% from him. It was a difficult workout for him. He knew it going into it, but he's got it over with. Big relief on his end.
And the object these athletes want to attain with their fitness, and we see that Michael Mosley has done this quite well, is to be well-rounded. It's not enough just to be really, really strong, but then suck at something like a 400-meter run. What they're trying to achieve is a well-rounded fitness.
And that's what we're seeing, the fittest men and women on earth this week.
So Michael Mosley coming from behind in that 3rd or 4th round. He passed 3 different athletes. This is Michael as he's finishing his overhead squats. He's finishing Nancy, and look how close LeBar was. He was only 0.3 of a second ahead of LeBar. So let's do this. Let's go down to the competition floor. They're standing by with Michael Mosley right now.
Michael, we saw you guys started with the packed, right? And then towards the end, at the end, it was down to the 15 overhead squats.
Right.
Separated you by seconds.
Right.
What was going through your mind?
Don't put the bar down and just keep going, no matter how bad it hurt.
What can we expect of you? What are you going to do for the next event to be ready?
Same thing. I'm just going to go at my pace. I can only control what I can do. I can't control any of the other athletes. So if my best is good enough, we'll see it. If not, then I'll give props to whoever beats me.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Back to you, Justin.
Thank you, Shira. Congratulations to Michael Mosley. That is it for event number 1 of the Masters competition. Michael Mosley setting a blazing fast time on Nancy, 10 minutes, 28 seconds. That's going to be a time to beat by people all around the world now, a new standard that they want to shoot for. Don't go anywhere. We have more competition coming up later today from the Masters competition here at the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. For Miles Lewis, I'm Justin Judkins. Thanks for joining us.